this weekend, the Valvoline D1NZ Drifting Championship takes us to Auckland's Mount Smart Stadium, returning after 7 years away. A driver's favourite, a full custom course layout will kick off the 2021 season. Our new Drift King, based out of Northland in the 2JZ powered Kiesel Flooring S13, Liam Burke taking us for a virtual lap of the Mount Smart course layout. Judges will be looking for a fat, aggressive entry, big angle onto the outside zone 1 to start the course. From here it is a smooth line with consistent angle onto the next outer scoring zone on the wall at clip 2, powering around through to the first right-hand switch, lining up in outer clip 3. From here it is a smooth line tightening off the outside clipping point 4 over to the left-hand side of the track at clip 5. Judges will be looking for an earlier switch here to maintain momentum and car speed onto the return loop. An outside zone on the wall for clip 6, powering out to the final outside scoring zone. 7 clipping points make up the layout for Mount Smart this year, and we are looking forward to some epic door-to-door battles this weekend. The D1NZ 2021 competition format sees 3 judging officials take the helm in race control, overlooking the 3 major scoring criteria: line, angle and style. Together they form a score out of 100. Line is a predetermined racing line the drivers need to navigate. This is marked out by scoring areas called clipping points. Drivers need to hit these scoring zones to score a maximum of 35 points for each pass. Angle is how much rear slip angle a car produces. Each driver has 35 points available for maintaining as much angle as possible throughout the drift course. Style is a combination of throttle control, handbrake application, car speed, and the overall fluidity of each run, with 30 points up for grabs. Teams have 2 laps in qualifying to start the competition. The driver with the best score takes pole position, with the top 8 drivers securing a spot in the top 16. From here, the competition moves into the battle phase, forming a seeded battle tree, battling through the top 16, the top 8, the top 4, and through to the finals. The battle phase of the competition sees each driver scored on a lead and chase run. The lead driver's objective is to set or better their performance in qualifying, while the chase driver's objective is to get as close as possible to the leading car, using it as a mobile clipping point. The chase driver needs to emulate or better the lead car's run while also maintaining the original scoring criteria. The 3 judging officials will then decide the winner by a majority decision. If it's a draw, they'll call an OMT, where the cars will battle one more time for sudden death. Drivers also need to be mindful of penalties while competing out on the track. Points deductions are handed out for 1 or 2 wheels off track, spinning out, straight lining the course, or making contact with the walls or the other car. One thing's for certain though, rubbing is racing. Each driver has 1 competition timeout available to use during the battle phase of the competition. This can only be used once and gives teams a chance at servicing their car in pit lane. And that is how it's done for the 2021 season of the Valvoline D1NZ Drifting Championship Series.
We're about to get underway here for round 1 of the Valvoline D1NZ National Drifting Championship Series, and it is the 2021 season as we get ready for the qualifying session. Bit of fire damage there on the right rear for Darren Kelly in the Heart of Racing R35. It's actually his 5th season competing in this chassis.
Wow, you can see the damage there. That shouldn't be. See the left one? That's what it should look like. The right one, that's a bit burnt.
2-time New Zealand champion. He came back to the series sort of halfway through the season last year and ended up on the podium. Darren Kelly is certainly no slouch behind the wheel. He's also now a circuit racing champion in the Endurance Series. And now he's back behind the wheel of his pro drift car machine, a 3.4 litre RB. Stacking on the angle, putting on a bit of a quick run here too, the Heart of Racing. Darren Kelly powering through that smoke through the return switch. Really good swings here, great fluidity and pushing right out to the outer zone. Fills those last 2 outer zones on the wall, and Darren Kelly certainly putting on a solid run there in that R35 GTR.
Well, time now to check out the judging officials keeping a hawk-eye view on the competition for round one. Marco Hara returns as line judge for the 2021 season, based out of Christchurch, a judge for the local Drift South series as well as a Drift South series veteran. 35 points up for grabs. The Southern flavour continues with our angle judge for the weekend, none other than two-time Drift South champion Joel Counter, another Christchurch-based driver with 8 years under the belt, a former pro driver in the D1NZ Championship Series with 35 points to dish out. Our final judge for the weekend is a man of two rooks, organiser for the New Zealand Drift Matsuri. Chris Howard joins us as style judge, a former D1NZ Pro Sport driver, or D1 rookie as it was known back in those days. 30 points ready and waiting as we get set for the opening round of the 2021 Valvoline D1NZ Drifting Championship Series.
And Steve, you're down there on the grid. Any news from the grid, perhaps, from the pit lane?
Yeah, well, Darren Kelly certainly looked very, very happy after that P1 in qualifying, thanks to Panhead. Probably not as happy as Bruce Tannock is now riding up front. And was that contact? Yes, it was heavy contact with the concrete. Cody Pullenberry keeps the drift, but then reminds himself we're supposed to stop and pulls himself into a safe position. Bruce Tannock, of course, from the lead position, is unaware that the man behind him has, I don't think he runs comms, so has stopped. So Cody Pullenberry taking evasive action as not to have a head on.
Yeah, I think with incidents like that, you're supposed to actually stop on the track, and then Cody's managed to realise, okay, this thing's still rolling, I'm going to get out of the way.
All credit to Cody. I mean, he's brought a knife to a gunfight really with his older car. I think it might be his little brother's car, so they're still preparing his pro car. So he was up against it, and he's obviously given it everything and parked it in the wall. So, but yeah, I'm really stoked to go through because I think I get old money bags in the next round.
Well, Liam Burke leads the way from the front. He's got Russell Veer shelling up his line to keep that proximity. There looked like there was contact. I saw a bit of something flying around.
Big moment there for Liam Burke, and that's upset the chase car. So Liam's reinitiated. He's going to try to finish the run here, but essentially that's handed a huge advantage in the sway of Russell Veer.
I think a lot of it's going to come down. You probably saw the start of it, so you're saying that maybe it was Liam that caused it?
One of the Valvoline barrels goes flying across the track.
Well, Liam comes through to finish, as does Russell Veer. As he triggers the lights, and off we go, and it will be Russell Veer, last year's Pro Sport champion, who leads out.
Oh, big contact down there at outer zone 2, and that, look at the rear end of Russell Veer's car.
And it's clean cut, 1, 2, 3 in the way of Liam Burke. Let's go down to Cole.
Liam, buddy, hey, that's a Pro Sport boy coming up, and he just put it on to you, eh? But hey, stoked, mate, you just took the win. How'd that feel going against him out there?
Yeah, well, that's racing. We've got a few panels off, but I always return the favour to everyone. You've probably seen that in the past.
Well, it's a drag race down the front straight here, and Sean Potros riding the walls. He started earlier on today using the competition, the pro competition 265 tyres. Didn't like them. From what I understand, he switched back to the 235s.
Michael Thorley just coming in real hot and then just over-rotated heading into the first transition. So Sean Potros certainly looking strong here out in the lead. And the lead car just has to finish the run if the chase car has made a mistake.
And it doesn't get much closer. For Michael Thorley, a lot of work to do if he's going to claim back even an OMT against himself. And Sean Potros decided to zero himself. He's gone hard into the concrete himself. Where has the car ended up? As we see Michael Thorley finishing his run, he would need to be slowed down, and I'm sure we'll see the lights go on the Casper Ute.
Unfortunately, not the first time that Sean Potros has been in the wall here this weekend, and again making big contact down there at outer zone 2 off the entry, and the towing truck heads on out to recover.
The Worthington Towing and Transport. Well, dare I say it, Kenny, maybe playing safe might have been the difference. So let's have a look to the judges' decision. 1, 2, 3. They couldn't shake this one, of course. Well, here we go down the front straight again between these two drivers. It's the pro versus the pro sport, man, and that is how you start. Absolutely sending it into Adam Davies.
Adam Kaplan getting right up there on the entry, now trying to just keep that proximity flowing, but he's probably cut a hell of a lot more than what the judges have asked for, bitten too much of the apple, so to speak, and now he's cost himself a penalty there, putting a wheel off. So Adam Davies running a mid to shallow to mid line, getting out wide on those last outer clipping zones on the return loop. But I think Adam Kaplan, while he brought a bit of aggression in terms of proximity, probably hurt him a little bit there, and it's probably an advantage here to Adam Davies. Lurking on that rear quarter now. Can he apply a bit of pressure here as they get to the mid part of the section? You check out the transition from Adam Davies, a seasoned campaigner in the Pro Series, and looking to get up in the pocket on that chase position, but allowing him to do that is a great lead run here from Adam Kaplan out in front.
Adam Kaplan almost looked like he was going to get a bit of a gap, and look at the smoke building up. 1, 2, 3 strikes in favour of Adam Davies. Adam Davies going through to the next round. George Myberg back in the series. Jaron's certainly been hasn't stopped. Let's see what the Vision Complete Earthworks Bike at a times driver can do as he leads out Jaron O'Crona.
V8 versus V12 turbo in behind. George Myberg, a little bit of a waiver there. It's opening up an opportunity here for Jaron to get up on the chase. How's this transition look as he pops out of the smoke? Can he close the door here and get up on that B pillar?
I really thought he would have shallowed a lot more, but he actually held his line there. The gap between them is just a car length at the minute, coming through and switching.
Oh, Jaron's cut the corner there. Penalty perhaps in the chase to try and get up on this red quarter. George Myberg, again, another one of those drivers just coming on form in terms of the return loop, dialing on a bit more momentum, a bit more throttle, a bit more wheel speed. Jaron O'Crona has a chance at leading out now. George Myberg putting on a bit of a return serve in the chase run here, so he's trying to get up on that pocket onto the B pillar, and look at this aggressive chase run here from George Myberg. Stacks it on, crabs it out, and manages to recover out of it. A huge penalty though. Can he get some more fluidity out of it in the last part of the section?
Well, the biggest question to ask ourselves right now is what the ruling is in respect to straight lines. So what we saw was a straight line from the chase driver coming out of the teardrop section here at Mount Smart Stadium. Has George Myberg just thrown the lap away in favour of Jaron O'Crona? We're about to find out. It is 3 strikes to Jaron O'Crona.
I was a bit nervous, after our qualifying, but we managed to do it, and we're back here with the Past Straight New Zealand V12 S14. So, hey, we're on to the top 16, man. Let's do this.
So it was a bit of carnage in their first battle, and
oh wow!
Check out the rear ends of these machines, fully exposed. They're They're certainly putting on their battle scars on display here at D1NZ round 1, the opening round of the Valvoline Pro Championship for 2021.
Well, it's a Worthington Towing and Transport S14 of Sean Potros. This is sudden death OMT one more time. Michael Thorley chasing him down, and Michael Thorley goes 2 wheels off.
Oh, that'll be a big penalty and a straight line correction. He's tried to salvage it hard on the handbrake, and he's managed to get back into a bit of a chase run here, but a huge penalty there for Michael Thorley in the chase run. Sean Potros just needs to finish the lap here, and he will take a big advantage out of this, and that's a good showing for Potros and all the crew for getting that car back out there. Take a look at the second pass here. Thorley coming in hot and stacks the rear end into outer zone 2 and fires across to the next wall, and Potros is going to walk away the victor here, I think.
First run was a bit good lead, and then on the chase it was went into the wall, but the second pass the car's a little bit funky, but put down a good lead, and then on the chase when I followed him in, he made a bit of contact, and yeah.
Well, here is the top 16. Darren Kelly going up against Bruce Tannock. Troy Jenkins will go up against Andrew Red. Troy Jenkins versus Kurt Blackie. Andrew Redwood versus Liam Burke. Gargan Kang versus Sean Potros. That's the left-hand side of the tree. On the right-hand side, we've got Taylor James versus Dane Templeman, Ben Jenkins and Dave Steadman, Daniel Woolhouse versus Adam Davies, and Scotty D versus Jaron O'Crona. It is top 16 time. Sit back, relax, and let's turn the heat up. Darren Kelly, the number 1. Bruce Tannock, 1, 2, 3. Goes down to Willie at the start line, Kenny.
A couple of big horsepower RB straight 6 turbos, 3.4 litre stroke machine of the Heart of Racing R35. Darren Kelly on the left. On the right will be Bruce Tannock. From our TV screen anyway, as we fire into the entry here, Darren Kelly coming in pretty hot, a little bit later, which has actually carried a little bit more momentum to fire on through here and switch on through the return loop. Opening the door now, though, for Bruce Tannock to get up on the B pillar as he is hunting for a bit of a chase position pocket as they come on through the last 2 switches.
Well, if you want to see what is almost a near perfect lead run, Darren Kelly's just laid it down. I saw him scrub the concrete, the white stuff a little bit earlier on. Might have chucked a wheel off, but a great lead run. Bruce Tannock certainly had a lot to do chasing down a 2-time champion.
And almost a false start there from Bruce Tannock off the lights as he fires through into the entry here. The Magatua Eccles Radial S13 being hunted down by Darren Kelly.
Just loving the arc that you can see of Darren Kelly in the chase position, but we're going to see Brucey mongrelling the S13 up front, trying to, and he might have done it. That was at least a wheeler for Darren Kelly, and another one again. Those are all deducted scores, so Darren Kelly might have some work to do. Are we about to see another OMT today?
Yeah, it could be, as Darren Kelly fires through. Big gap there, Tannock. Almost wavering towards the end of the last scoring zone there.
And there you go, Bruce Tannock takes the win.
The last time I got that close to Darren was NZ Drift Nationals, I think 6 years ago, and my car broke. And he's drummed me ever since, so I'm really stoked to get that.
Well, we've got the Cave versus the Carter Tyres machine. Kurt Blackie in the Cave NZ machine will go into chase position with the Carter's tyres.
Fair few objects on the front of those cars there as we fire through into the next battle here. Top 16 action. 856 of Troy Jenkins leading out. A pretty good chase run here from Kurt Blackie as he stacks on a bit of angle here, pushes out to that wider line, misses one of the outer clips though in favour of getting up on this rear quarter, but a bit of a waiver there coming through, and the switch just doesn't work for him. He's shortcutted the track, and I think that's all 4 wheels off track, and that's probably cost him as Troy Jenkins puts on a strong lead run, and that was looking really good for Kurt Blackie there, but a few little moments.
And Kurt, a lot of work to do. He's throwing in the angle.
The V8 now leading out the straight 6 turbo. Troy Jenkins trying to put on a bit of a return serve here now to the 99 of Kurt Blackie in the KVNZ 86 and pushes real wide. He's missed that inner apex on the left-hand side if you're watching on screen. So Kurt Blackie's opened up a bit of a gap now and gets out to the wall on the last 2 zones.
The one thing we did see with Troy is that he held on to every piece of track and continued drifting, and that's going to be the difference between these two here. Results time, and Mark O'Hara, Joel Counter and Chris Howard strike in favour of Troy Jenkins.
Man, it's been a huge effort to get these cars ready for today. Only just made it, but absolutely stoked to get through there. Kurt did a solid lead run there, but must have just got him on the chase, unfortunately. But yeah, really stoked, really stoked.
All right, well, we've got our 1NZ, our national champion, the Drift King himself, Liam Burke on the left-hand side of the screen, on the right-hand side, driving the Nankang Tyres Eastern Automotive Performance Centre, LS3 powered SCRX7, the Californian man, Andrew Regan.
Californian Kiwi, the Angle King, launching off the handbrake and puts a bit of handbrake on the entry there and carries it on through. Liam Burke looking for a bit of a chase run here on the rear quarter now. He's lurking just off the back. What's going to come of the first transition?
Andrew just washing up a little bit high, but that was outside of the judging area and really brought the nose down perfectly.
Liam Burke sacrificing a lot of angle in favour of proximity. He's now trying to get up into the pocket here on this last section. The last 2 outer scoring zones. And Liam Burke, I think, just not quite getting there. Oh, Andrew Redwood's probably cut a little bit shallow there. Great drive from Liam Burke so far. He took a midline approach to that first sector, and now he's going to dial on some power. But look at this, Andrew Redwood hunting off the rear quarter here, just switches a little bit too early. Has to massage it out and try switch back onto this last section. Liam Burke dialing on a little bit more angle and a bit more smoke as he heads on out to those last two zones. And we're seeing a lot of drivers on that return loop dialing on that angle.
Here's the judges now. Left for Liam Burke, right for Andrew Redwood. 1, says Liam Burke. One more time for Joel Counter. What does Chris Howard say? Wow, Chris Howard goes for Andrew Redwood. It is 1-1 and an OMT. We are going back again. Well, straight into action goes now. We see Sean Potros always starts it really early. Big angle and massive speed by both of these drivers. Potros this time gets it around a lot nicer than what we've seen him in the last couple of battles. But Gargan Kang, he's trying to develop a gap. Here comes Potros really closing up the angle, closing up the gap between himself.
Gargan Kang leading out. Potros a little bit off that apex though, that late apex, and this cost him a little bit there. He's trying to recover things out of it and get back onto a chase position. So gap opened here and opened up in favour for Gargan Kang. Has just tagged the wall on the exit, and these concrete walls, you just take the wall like that, sometimes it can just snap the front end around, and he's managed to somehow get out of that.
Potros, what can he do this time here? Watch how quickly he starts to, like, he's already in. Now, can he force a mistake for Gargan Kang?
A little bit of debris on the track there as they fired on through, but check this out from Gargan Kang. He's looking for a bit of a hunt on this rear quarter now. Sean Potros leading out. He's been through the wars, running plenty of battle scars, but unfazed. The crew keeping the car running all weekend. And Potros, he'll want to try and give them another victory here inside the top 16.
Well, looking at that one there, I can't see anything that the chase driver did wrong. Gargan Kang putting a solid chase down. Beautiful night for drifting. Let's see what the judges have got to say. 2 Southerners and a North Island man. 1, 2, 3 strikes. Gargan Kang will take the win.
Yeah, coming here with a bit of practice down south, with Drift South. Been real good, so happy. Car's going good. Sean's driving mean today, so yeah, see what happens.
You can see straight into the cockpit. As the red lights go, the green light drops, and off we go.
The higher qualifier taking the lead lane. Andrew Redwood firing in hot. As we take a look at some of the live telemetry data.
So 10 metres off at the moment, so really needs to close that up. Push out to 15. We'll see if he can just close up that angle so you can see like right down to 7 metres, but then made a slide on that transition, and then that started to push out, and Andrew Redwood really starting to drive away again.
Andrew Redwood feeding the throttle there as Liam Burke just gets the rear end right out to that last outer zone.
Well, here we go. It's the second half of this OMT battle. And it is Liam Burke. He looks like he's really struggling with the car.
I was just going to say, it almost looked like his rear track width was way up, but he's actually lost one of his rear guards as we fire on through here with an aggressive run here from Andrew Redwood, trying to get up on the B-pillar here now, and he's given him a little love tap, I think, maybe. Down the back section of the track, so they switch on through, and that's actually...
Proximity 0.
It's put Andrew Redwood off a little bit. And Andrew Redwood will move through to battle Gargan Kang inside the top 8.
Oh, mate, we've been through it this last week, you know? And he has too. He's just built this new immaculate setup on his car and, yeah, pushed it to limits. We had a good time out there. It was good that we got the rerun, man, because it didn't feel good in that last battle, you know? Both of us kind of making mistakes. It was good to push it right out there and get it done.
Bit of a fire extinguisher mission for the boys in pit lane as we get underway here in the top 16.
Taylor James, both of these drivers winding on the angle. Taylor James, no rear windscreen. Has he gone for a rear radiator, or is there just nothing there?
Taylor James just stacking on angle, and look at this chase run here from Dana. He was right on him through that
mistake
first
there
half.
too. A big mistake.
Big mistake. He scrubbed off angle, and he's had to do that to try and stay on the track, and he's cut the track again. Unfortunately, perhaps he's batting with a bit of line as Taylor James just stacks on the angle. all the way through. What a run from Taylor.
I couldn't help but notice that Taylor jumped the start a bit, but the green light was on, so it was almost like Danem was their person who was really trying to slow down that start. Bit of moisture down where Danem's car was too, so and you can see it coming out underneath the left rear tyre as he came through the teardrop section just then.
Taylor's had a bit of a moment in the chase there to just...
And a wheel off.
But yeah, I mean, there's such disparity in line between these two cars, so check out the aggression from Taylor through the exit, getting right up on Danem Templeman through the last scoring zone. And Taylor certainly bringing some aggression in that Fawn rotary machine.
And it's going to be 1, 2, 3 strikes in favour of Taylor James.
We've had endless dramas all day today. We literally just got the gearbox back in and yeah, wrapped to get that, especially with a driver like Damon.
Ben Jenkins in the 857 out of Drury in the Carter Tyres, North Shore Toyota 2JZ Pack GT 86. And Dave Steedman out of Tauranga in the Mimico Napa Auto Parts Nissan S14. And that's some wild angle to start.
Yeah, some wild angle there from the lead car of Ben Jenkins in the 857. A little bit wider was Dave Steedman in the chase, trying to hunt down that rear quarter. Closing the door now as the Mimico S14 trying to get there, but Ben Jenkins still trying to pull a gap here now. That Carter's GT 86.
Wheel off for Steedman. And a whole lot of limbs.
He loves his Limmy Bash.
And the flames shooting off down the sideline here. And
oh, look at this chase run here from Ben Jenkins now, putting on a return serve to Dave Steedman. And he wants to better that chase run that Steedman put on. And check this out from the Carters, 2JZ.
Yeah,
GT 86 getting right up
in there.
On the B pillar.
I mean, that's, we talk about when you shallow your line, which is to basically take a shortcut by taking and when you shallow up, you need to be on the door. And that's exactly where Ben Jenkins is.
What a run.
All right, let's see what the judges say. Was it Ben Jenkins? OMT says 1. Joe Counter says Ben Jenkins. What does Chris Howard say? Chris Howard says OMT as well. Mistakes all around. And it looks like we are going to go and dance again.
Adam Davies and his teammate are on opposite sides of the tree. I think, no, they're not. They're on the same side of the tree. So they may, if he wins and Dave wins, they may end up pinning each other. So here we go for the top 16. Fanger Dan leads out Adam Davies. Fanger Dan goes for the handbrake entry and sticks it on. And Adam Davies has had a moment there. And interesting to see how the judges call that one. But Fanger Dan leading out.
As a lead car, Fanger still needs to lay down a qualifying score just to complete his lap. So even though if he makes mistakes, it's not going to be as much as what we've seen from Adam Davies. And Davies is well and truly pulled out of it.
He's back right out of it. And Fanger finishes the run of the 616 Coyote V8 machine.
So a lot of these drivers have comms to a spotter, for example. Fanger never really been one to want to use a spotter. Is he doing it now?
I don't know. Might have comps. Might have a spotter somewhere.
As we set them loose again. The 20V Turbo going up against Fanger Dan's. Oh, touch and go. You better hold on to that, Adam Davies.
Adam tags the wall, upsets him a little bit, but he puts his foot down. And Fanger Dan now lurking, trying to get up on the B-pillar now. Apply some pressure to this rotary out in front. It's a classic Ford V8 versus rotary battle. A little bit of a gap now being opened up to the 20B out in front. Fanger Dan sticking on a bit of angle here through the return section. And Adam Davies just...
Hang on. Adam looked like he pulled up before the line is... There's a line across the track, Kenny. Fanger Dan, Adam Davies. Swipe left for Fanger, right for Adam Davies. There goes one. Wow. What does Joel Counter say? Interesting. Fanger Dan gets 2 strikes, takes the win.
You know, I'd been doing that in qualifying and we even left a little bit of grip because we thought, oh, once the sun goes down, it's going to be a bit slipperier.
Yep.
And sent it in just how I was doing in qualifying and stuff, and I didn't think I was going to hold on to it, And yeah, I was like, man, these front wheels have got to start going that way any time, otherwise I'm going to tuck into the next wall. So
as we fight into another top 16 matchup here, Scott Dinsdale taking on Jaron Corona. Dinsdale stacking on some angle, takes the wall, and that could have upset Jaron, but he's managed to stay in the pocket here. He's shallowed up his angle, and now he's going to try put on a return serve through the back section here and try get back in the proximity here as we go on board our live drone, and there we go. Jaron Corona trying to get up through the transitions.
But Olive Corona really trying to close the gap. Scotty D hard put down as he comes through and exits onto the straight again to finish off the first half of this battle. A great battle between these two guys. It's Scotty D leading out and Jaron Olive Corona switching position to go out and have his turn. Well, Jaron, he's again moisture on the start line on that right-hand box. Jaron starts early.
Scott Dinsdale is just bringing some really aggressive, snappy, big angle initiations, but then you look at Jaron out in the lead here, putting on a good, clean, consistent run so far. There's Scott Dinsdale getting a little bit too hungry though, as he hurt himself a little bit. Look at the chase run though, getting right there on the door.
Oh, he's held on to it, bit of a clip through, but, and again.
What a run from both of these drivers. Absolutely fantastic battle here in the top 16.
Oh, wow, that is a fantastic run. Scotty D, Jaron O'Crona, 1 strike to Jaron, and OMT says Chris Howard, but Mark O'Hara says a strike to Jaron O'Crona. He takes the win.
Awesome battle with Scotty though. It's really cool to see the pro sport drivers jumping into the pro field. So I wish him all the best in his future and the top field.
This is an OMT matchup. Sudden death between these guys. These guys are fighting for a place inside the top 8.
Now again, it was a quick transition into his drift for Dave Steadman. Slightly slower. What are we running at? 60 k's an hour sideways, but wheel speed's probably at about 200. And a nice aggressive switch as he fires it through Ben Jenkins. And he's starting to form a gap between himself and Dave Steadman.
Yeah, pulling away now. Dave Steadman wants to try and get back up on that rear quarter. But Ben Jenkins certainly putting on a great drive. That Carter's GT86. His brother Ben Jenkins out there right now about to give chase.
Well, it's sudden death time. Dave Steadman quick to initiate into his drift, makes his way out to the wall. Hard on the gas he goes, and this is where the big move is, where he's transition in, switching through. And Jenkins right there again, nice chase run.
Yeah, Dave Steadman put on a bit of a chase run in the first half of his.
Not enough angle though, maybe.
Yeah, on his run, and then look, Jenkins is putting on a return serve here, and in terms of a gap being opened up, Jenkins has absolutely stuck it to him towards the end of the section, so a great drive there from Ben Jenkins.
And the judges look like they've got their decision. Mark O'Hara, Joel Counter, and Chris Howard. 1, 2, 3 strikes for Ben Jenkins. Ben Jenkins going through.
Oh man, we just put on a show before. Like I said, Dave's a great driver. I just put it on him.
You're pumped, eh? You're pumped.
I'm pumped. Brand new cars. No, tested them here on Thursday. Fresh out of the garage with the whole crew. New sponsor package. And God, these things are just animals now. Let's see how far we can go, Cole.
So we've got Bruce Hannett going up against Troy Jenkins, Andrew Redwood going up against Gargan Kang. Taylor James will battle Ben Jenkins, and Fanger Dan Woolhouse going up against Jaron Olive Corona. That is your top 8. Well, it's the Achilles Radials Mag and Turbo Machine, the RB30 of Bruce Tannock. 32? 32, I think, isn't it? Going
I think he runs that Nito stroker kit, so 3.2 litre.
And Troy Jenkins side by side out of Karaka in the Carter Tyre Services North Shore Toyota Parts.
Are away in the top 8 as the flames fly here at Mount Smart. Troy Jenkins leading out the 1, 2, 3 of Bruce Tannock.
Bruce Tannock starting his dive, trying to get that proximity back. Those Achilles Radials, they're the best. He's the fastest, and he's trying to set it loose and prove his point today.
So he says the banter from pit lane is Troy Jenkins on the GT Radials. Humming as they exit out of the section. Now, I did notice, I think Troy missed one of those outer zones.
As the flames shoot up, it's flames off the track, flames on the track. The Mag and Turbo Achilles Raiders machine setting himself loose out here.
We're talking about the speed off the line, and certainly Tannic gunned away from him down that short run up. But look at this, Troy Jenkins trying to get up there and stacks on way too much angle, fighting real hot over rotation. Tannic now just needs to complete the lap here and score a 10-0 advantage. The Mag and Turbo S13 running a two-tone, brand new livery on the car this season. Always had immaculate liveries, hasn't he, Steve?
Oh, his cars have always been stunning. Loved him when he moved into the that sort of rocket bunny look. Well, there's handshakes going on. It's the Link ECU top 8, Mark O'Hara, Joel Counter, and Chris Howard. 1, 2, 3 strikes. Bruce Tannic goes through.
I'm not sure what happened behind me, but I think you just said that Troy had a spin. So, yeah, I'm very, very grateful to take that win. That's good.
Well, we know the speed of Andrew Redwood's car, and look at the gap he's already created. Gargan King's going to have to shallow up his lines to gain back that proximity if he's going to make it, if he's going to match the speed up front.
Andrew Redwood always had a quick, agile little car, and running that big, torquey V8. The LS package under the hood out in front. The straight 6 turbo trying to play catch up here now. Gargan King just a little bit off. Shallows up his line a little bit to try regain on these last scoring zones.
And the judges will certainly be happy with the lead run of Andrew Redwood, certainly putting those laps down today. Gargan King, a bit of work to do. It's his turn to lead out. Then loose again, Gargan King. Off he goes, and look already, Andrew Redwood sets himself up, and he's already gone for the quick dive.
Real aggressive chase there from Redwood, and quite an interesting late entry there from Gargan King almost. So it's opened the door here for Andrew to just get up on this rear quarter now, and hopefully he can stick here through the rest of the section. Gargan King, though, all he needs to do is put on a solid lead run here to try claw back some points. Redwood, though, lurking in the smoke right there.
Well, Redwood is stuck in a cloud of smoke, and that's exactly where you would want to see him if you were the judges. Mark O'Hara, Joel Counter, Andrew Redwood, and it's a clean sweep victory. Andrew Redwood will go through to the top 4.
Me and Gagan just having a bit of a chat and seeing how we did. Yeah, pretty happy with that. It was a nice, clean lead by Gagan, so it was fun to chase.
Well, it's the Cutters Tyres Services North Shore Toyota 2JZ powered GT86 of Ben Jenkins, who'll be chasing down the 4-in-road around New Zealand S14 of Taylor James, hard on the handbrake to start and then straight into action.
Stacks on the angle through scoring zone 2. Both of them now looking hot through here, the midsection. Check out the switch here from Jenkins in the chase. The 857 of Ben Jenkins, that Carter's GT86 2JZ versus RB battle right here. Gives him a little bit of a tap maybe with the wheel.
Ben Jenkins has come to fight. Wheel off, that's going to be a minor points deduction, but hard on the gas again. Both of them coming through to finish.
A wild first lap there for their top 8 battle. These guys are battling for the last spot inside the top 4 semi-finals.
So Taylor James just trying to get the advantage. He's going to be in the chase position and wants to really close that gap up. But Jenkins did a great job up front. Nice line as he fires it through into that switching zone.
Some of these closer battles are coming from the guys that are just sacrificing those first 2 outer zones and getting a much more faster entry on a sort of a shallow to mid line. So look at this from Taylor James now hunting, hits the barrel, trying to hunt down that rear quarter of the Carter's machine out in front.
And coming through to finish, Ben Jenkins, he's turned up this weekend. Taylor James, Ben Jenkins, you guys are going one more time. Well, straight down to Willie. He's putting the control in his hand. Launchmaster Willie says, let's go, boys. It's going to be the Century Batteries Castrol New Zealand machine who takes the win. Will it be the Parts Trader NZ V12 of Gerald and Olam Crota? And we are into drifting action. Right up by the wall goes Fanger Dan Woolhouse. sets himself up nicely into the transition spot. Quickly changing Jaron, trying to close up right on the door. Jaron Olafkrona.
He's lurking right there, bringing a bit of aggression now, switching on through the pair of them. Last two scoring zones, a wheel off for Jaron, but does that bode well for proximity? Getting right up there on Fanga Dan Woolhouse. What has the V12 got in store for us here tonight? Mount Smart Stadium, round one of the Valvoline D1NZ National Drifting Championship. It's top 8 action, and there's fiberglass on the wall as the rubber goes flying, and Fanga Dan having a bit of a moment in the chase there.
Fiberglass on the wall, fire in the sky. Fanga closing the door this time here, and Fanga really having to run a bit of break to...
Fanga's really singing that thing. He was on the limiter for a little bit there, and then switching on through. A hell of a lot of smoke out there. The V12 though stacking on some angle now through the last sector. Fanga putting in a return serve to Jaron Olafkrona. Could we see another OMT?
Oh, that is some amazing drifting. You're getting treated to an epic display of drifting by these Kiwi drivers.
So which way will the judges slide? Mark O'Hara, Joel Counter and Chris Howard. Chris goes for the OMT, and Mark O'Hara and Joel Counter slide to the left. Dan Woolhouse takes the victory.
Needed to clean it up a little bit, a little bit messy on that first battle, just coming in too hot, but yeah, car feels really good. Just got to, stay out of that smoke, be nice and close, and keep your foot into it.
Well, time for the replay of this battle between Ben Jenkins and Taylor James.
The last battle in the top 8 for Taylor James. Ben Jenkins, sudden death here, and again putting on another good show here. Taylor James and Ben Jenkins. Jenkins trying to hunt down this rear quarter, and this time he might want to put some rubber on the door maybe and really secure himself a really good handful of points in the chase here.
Well, Jenkins is certainly doing everything he can to battle down a nice clean lead run as well. These guys are certainly trying to get every opportunity and to make the most of it as they come through to finish. It doesn't get tighter than that.
What a run from the pair of them.
Taylor James goes for the quick start to ensure he can get right on that bumper. Again, shallow to come through as they both go up, and a slight gap already between himself and Ben Jenkins. Jenkins on the loud pedal.
Taylor trying to stack on more angle now through the midsection, closes his line up and is trying to hunt down the rear quarter now for a chase position. A little bit iffy though in terms of angle, and a little bit wavering there in terms of fluidity. So Ben Jenkins just looking nice and consistent out in front, stacking on the angle. The Carter's 2JZ powered GT86, brand new refreshed machine, and it's come to the track. They didn't even shake them down. They brought them to the track, went to practice this morning and just sent them. And TJ Motorsport, as we look at the battle scars of Taylor James.
Well, let's see what Mark O'Hara, Joel Counter and Chris Howard have to say. 1 strike, 2 strike, 3 strikes, and Ben Jenkins takes victory.
I'm just pumped, this car is, it's just surprising me by every lap. Taylor, he had some clutch issues there off the line, so it's unfortunate. But we always put on a hell of a battle. We've always battled, but look, man, to take this brand new car to go put it into top 4 in front of all my boys and all people watching at home, I'm pretty stoked right now.
Man, we have seen some battles, Kenny, out there. There's one man, 2 people that have booked themselves a spot in the top 4. Top 4 today. We've got Bruce Tannock, Andrew Redwood, Fanga Dan Moorhouse, and Ben Jenkins. Who is going to come out the winner? It is the Nankang Tyres FC RX-7 of Andrew Redwood going up against the Achilles Radials Magnum Turbo Nissan S13 of Bruce Tannock. Off we go. Straight into action. Andrew Redwood absolutely dialed in.
Andrew Redwood just has that quick little car, but Tannock, he's not going to try and let him get away. He's going to try and apply some of this car speed he reckons he has. And Andrew Redwood just putting on a good lead so far. He's starting to close the gap as Tannock in the chase here, but I think Andrew Redwood's put on a pretty good, strong lead run here.
Tannock's going to knock on his door coming out.
Has dropped his line, and I can guarantee there's going to be some banter.
Well, here we go. This is a battle of the tyre manufacturers out here. Now there's a drag race. Look how fast Bruce is like, well, I'm going to show you how much grip I've got. And off he goes.
So Tannock's gone for that midline approach to that first sector. Carry some car speed, a bit of momentum to switch out onto these outer zones and then across to clipping point 5 on this late apex here. Look at Redwood lurking off the rear quarter here. Is he going to give it a bit of wheel to wheel?
Well, he comes through, closes up again. Redwood, which is going to be closer as they cross the line. Redwood's on the pillar. Redwood's right up there as they both come through, cross the line to finish.
Oh, I'm going to call advantage Redwood here. That's where I'm swaying.
Well, it goes down to the judges. Who do they think has got the best tyres? Andrew Redwood wins the battle of the tyres.
It has been 10 years since you guys have battled. 2 battles you've done. That was your second battle in 10 years. That is insane, but hats off, mate.
Yeah, well, Bruce said that he wanted to battle me tonight, so he got his wish. That was sick. I was glad to finally battle Bruce. Like, we were teammates for years on end, and yeah, it's cool to finally come up against him in competition.
616 of Dan Morehouse will now take on Ben Jenkins. These two have a bit of banter in pit lane as well. In fact, I think they've both driven each other's cars. Ben's definitely driven one of Fanger's cars before, as we see.
Well, Fanger's just right up it, comes through and switches, but look at Ben trying to close the gap, a bit of a bubble up front, but Ben really shallow just to keep on that bumper.
86 trying to hunt down that Ford Mustang out in front. In fact, no, I think it was the other way around. I think Fanger drove his S13 many years ago. I think it might have been at Fielding, as we can see this close battle so far. Steve.
Oh, put your hands together.
Semi-finals. Who's going to go through to the podium and take it out tonight? Mustang RTR Ford versus Toyota. 2JZ straight 6 turbs up against the V8 of Fanger Dan, now giving chase.
Well, it's a car to tyres, GT86 of Jenkins, who leads out. Another quick start, but Fanger is all over it. Let's see what happens as they come through to switch.
Fanger right there now too. He's putting on a bit of a return serve now to Jenkins. Who's going to take it out here? Or will this force an OMT?
Through the smoke show. Where's Fanger gone?
Fanger's gone off wide in the smoke. A big gap opened up here to Jenkins in the 857 machine. And is that enough to put Jenkins through? Or is there just a couple of points in this that'll either even it out or send one of them through to the finals?
Oh, Ben Jenkins gets one strike. OMT in the middle. And it's going to be enough. Chris Howard pushes through and says Ben Jenkins will head through to the finals.
I don't know what I was doing. I don't know. To be honest, I thought it was touch and go. We both had our errors. I don't know if I gave him the greatest chase. He definitely gave me an absolutely amazing lead run. Like Fanger and I would go back. He's used my car, I've used his car, and to battle him in top 4 opening round of 2021 was a bit of a dream. So we're good mates, and that was one hell of a battle, and I think we're going to see a bit of this over the season.
And this is how they got there. Bruce Tannock took on Drew Jenkins, Andrew Redwood, and now he's up against Ben Jenkins. So 2 Jenkins if he's going to take out a podium tonight.
Who's your money on?
Brucey.
You're going to go for Brucey? But
no, just if I said Fanger, Brucey would take me aside and that pits, so Steve wanted to say that. It's Tannock. He was originally from Tauranga. This is like a battle against you and me. Fanger leads out though, and he's on the loud pedal.
Fanger Dan opening up a bit of a gap, pushes out a little bit wider than what we've seen so far with these guys pushing through that first sector. Tannock now trying to play catch up and get up on that rear quarter. Fanger doing a great job so far in the Century Batteries Ford Mustang RTR.
And check out the chase battle. He's right on up there.
Wheel off there for Bruce Tannock. He'll get a little penalty out of that one, but what a battle here from these guys. Fanger Dan certainly putting on a textbook job out in front, and
he was very kind, Fanger was, because he gave Bruce something nice to chase. Well, let's have a look at the second half of this battle. Get ready to send them. And it will be Bruce Tannock this time. Fanger made sure he got the same sort of jump as he possibly could because he knows how fast that car up in front of us. And here comes Fanger Dan.
Fanger Dan trying to hang off this rear quarter here. Did Bruce Tannock put a wheel off or on the line there? That's up to the judges as Fanger tries to close back some proximity again through as they return back. These guys are battling for 3rd place here tonight.
Oh, they're both tripping over white lines at the moment.
Opening up a bit of a gap on Fanger through the end of the section, so...
Oh, this might come down to mistakes then.
It might come down to mistakes, and again, it could be just a point in it or an OMT. Where will the judges slide?
So, of course, if it goes OMT, we've got to back up the final. There's one. OMT says another. What does Joel Counter say? Joel Counter says slide right in favour of Fanger Dan Woolhouse.
You've been driving well all weekend, eh? You'd be stoked with that.
Oh, definitely stoked. You know, Nicole's up there being my spotter, and she's just like, just stick to your line. You know, like you've got the good line going on this weekend. Don't try and change anything, and just keep calm and have fun and represent.
Well, now we're about to see the final.
So leading out will be the Nankang Tyres Eastern Automotive Performance Centre FCRX7 of Andrew Redwood. In chase position will be the Carter's Tyre Service North Shore Toyota Parts 2JZ Toyota GT86 of Ben Jenkins. It's in the starter's hands. Forget the rest, you've got the best. Round one of the Valvoline D1NZ. It's final time.
Hot out of the gate from the pair of them. And look at this. Bit of wild stuff here from Jenkins in the chase run. Andrew Redwood leading out that Nankang Tyres FCRX7. V8 versus Turbo giving chase to the V8 out in front. Jenkins trying to close the door now and get on the rear quarter. Maybe swap a little bit of rubber.
Ben Jenkins certainly closed up the gap. There was a gap to start, but he's pulled it all the way back. What a chase run, but a clinical start as well for the man who leads the way, Andrew Redwood, who wants to be a judge.
Andrew Redwood, hand out the window. He is stoked. And, oh man, Steve.
Well, what a clean start for both of these drivers. Almost thought it was going to go wrong. Something just happened there. Was it contact?
He came in real hot, and then I think he just had to make a little bit of a correction there to make sure that he didn't come in too hot and hit him or end up in the wall. So great job in the chase there from Jenkins. And then look at this on the back section of the circuit. Just really getting up on that rear quarter and putting a great drive in behind that Nankang Tyres machine. Redwood lurking in the smoke indeed, unfazed by it though, spits out a bit on the switch and then gets up into a little chase pocket here. Can he match the angle and emulate this lead car out in front? What a run here from Ben Jenkins, the 857 Carter's 2JZ machine. Look at this run here from Andrew Redwood. Flame spitting in the final. What a run. What a run from these guys.
Put your hands together. If you're at home, jump up and down on the couch. If you're here, put your hands together and cheer. What a run by two incredible drifters. That was the final. That was the Valvoline D1NZ final.
Well, where will the judges slide as we get ready for prize giving? And I'm sure these guys are going to put a great end to the night with some victory skids as we look at the FPV replay here. Fantastic driving all day long. There's been carnage, there's been flames aplenty, and just what a great run between these guys. A V8 versus Turbo final.
And your winner, driving the Nankang Tyres Eastern Automotive Performance Centre FCRX7 is Andrew Redwood. Second place, a fantastic drive by the Carter's Tyre Services North Shore Toyota Parts 2JZ Toyota GT86 pilot Ben Jenkins.
Yeah, thanks for D1 putting on this awesome event, and it was cool to come back to Mount Smart. It's been a long time since we were here. Cool to drive with all the guys again, and yeah, I just had a blast tonight. Thanks for my supportive crew and my wife at home. You know, like I wish she could have been here with my baby tonight, but you know, next time let's do it at Manfield.
100%. It was so much fun out there battling all these dudes. Like, you know, we sometimes practice together and we've been competing together for so many years, and it's just been amazing.
Trophies up. That is your top three. In third place, Fanger Dan Woolhouse. In second place, Ben Jenkins, and your winner, Andrew Redwood.